Hello everyone, it's Jen from Big Heart Small Farm. So it is, I think it's September 10th today, and we have done the thing where we, cut off the green onion tops, let them regrow. We've done that once, but what I found last year was any of the green onions that we left for too long, they got quite bitter. So I want these ones while they're still bright green and not bitter. If you've been following us for a year, last year, you would have seen us dehydrating the green onions. So what I've done this year with an earlier batch is I've tried another method, which is freezing. So this is how I freeze it. I slice it up small and I put it into either a Ziploc bag, or I had some of these containers that were left over after we got Chinese food for dinner one night, and I store them in this or like this. So the dehydrated green onions were fine, but I really prefer them like this. I didn't want to freeze them last year because we had a situation where we tried freezing them whole and they were really slimy and it was not pleasant. But we tried it this way this year and it was really good. So I will show you quickly just kind of like what my process is to get them cleaned up. But I laid all of these green onions. Look at this, beautiful. Oh, look, I have some grass. I laid all of these down on the top of the well and washed them off with the hose. So I got a lot of the dirt off, but there's still going to be a bit more. So I'm going to take a minute and show you how I clean these up and put them away. Okay, so I always need to have my favorite knife. I don't really know exactly why I really like it, but it's got like a little bit of a serrated edge on it. It's just my favorite knife. I do everything with it. So what I'm going to start with is, you can see there's some weeds here on the end that came out with it, and then I'm going to cut these off. These are actually really healthy for you though. If you make tea out of the roots of green onions, it's really good for you. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I will. We'll try it tonight. I'll let you know. Okay, so then there's going to be these dried pieces here on the outside, and that is because we have trimmed them once and let them grow back. So you just want to take all of that stuff off. Doesn't taste good. And then any of these little bits, take that off as well. And like this end here, I'm just going to break that off because all of those will be really bitter, and yeah, you don't want that. Freezing it's not going to take away the bitterness. This one looks pretty good except for right there. Okay, so that's that. You are probably going to cry, so just be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually prepared for that. And just, can you see? All right, just like this. Just like you're going to cut it up to use it. All right, that's all there is to it. And then I just throw it into the freezer bag. And that's it. And I try to get it into the freezer bag quickly after I've cut it to reduce how much I cry, basically. So because I already have a freezer bag on the go, I'm just going to add this to it. And the nice thing about the green onions is that you can just easily grab a handful. They don't all clump together when you freeze them, which is great. And if they do kind of get, like, let's say over here in this corner, you just kind of squeeze a little bit and then it comes apart. It's awesome. So one thing I contemplated doing was, my friend Miss Bev was over on the weekend. She brought over this like amazing food processor so that we could process our carrots. I didn't show you guys that, but what we did was we cleaned up dug the carrots, washed them up, cut the root and the top off, and put them through the food processor. So we mostly use our carrots for coleslaw. So we shredded them. It's So this is what we're trying. So I don't want to tell you, hey, you should totally go and do this. It's so awesome, because I don't know yet. I'll let you know. But this is what we're trying this year. Last year, we ended up like doing like slicing some up. And then we also did some like whole when they were small. We did whole ones, which that didn't really go that well. So I don't recommend doing them whole. And then because we use the carrots for coleslaw so much, like grating up or like blending up the frozen carrot chunks, it really was not pleasant. So that was just my own experience. I do know my neighbors, they freeze their carrots sliced up, but I think they use it more for like in their soup, which I think would be totally fine. And I've done that before with the chunks, and it's totally fine. But this year I want to try it this way, because that's typically how we eat carrots. We don't eat carrots a lot of other ways. That's just us. So yeah, I'm just going to continue going on this. And my hope is that we'll have green onions for longer than we did last year. And I'm really, really enjoying the frozen green onions. Dad, if you're watching, I know what you're saying in your mind. Freezing food is a really expensive way to preserve it. But for us, because we have the goats, the turkeys, and the chickens in the freezer already, we essentially just leverage some of that space and put our tomato sauce, green onions, green peppers, and thyme in there, because we have to run them anyways. So just in case, Dad, you think I wasn't listening to you, I was, but it's just how we roll. So that's that. I hope everyone's having a great, like, I guess it's technically still summer, but it feels like fall. And I'm in the process of possibly growing out my bangs, which is why I have this really weird high ponytail. I haven't decided if I'm going to grow them out or not yet, but that's why I've got the weird, very weird high ponytail today. So good luck, and I hope everyone had a great harvest this year.